Hello, friends. I'm glad to be here with you. I want to tell you a little bit about our newest ministry, our Children's Ministry Lab. Let me get my slide shared so that we can be on the same page, so to speak, as we talk here. Okay. So this is our newest offering here at PRC. And we have heard from so many of you that you're in small congregations. You don't have a lot of children. You don't have anyone to teach. So we thought we could help you here. And that's where our Children's Ministry Lab came from. When I'm not with PRC, I work with congregations, mostly here in the Eastern Seaboard, but I've worked with congregations across the country, and I keep hearing about the challenges you are facing. And I just finished working with a very small congregation. I was there for 4 years through the pandemic. So I get where you're at. So here's what we have come up with. We want to help provide quality faith formation for children. We want to provide transformational on the job training for new teachers. It's very hard to find ways to do that, but we've got an idea. And we have some out of the box techniques that will help you launch your children's ministries into this current context, because we all know everything has changed. The pandemic laid everything bare, and everything has changed. So we are ready to help you work in these three areas. And how are we going to do this? Well, actually, let's look at why we're going to do it first. Why are we doing this? Well, for the children, firstly, children are being formed by so much right now. And so much of it is related to the constant influx of information through the internet. It's in their pockets, literally in their pockets. It's in their parents' pockets. We want to step into there and help you be able to provide the intentional formation in their faith that they are not getting necessarily as they're scrolling through the internet. We want to help them have a grounding in who they are as God's people. And you know what? This can provide fellowship. Children need fellowship. They need more people that are being raised the way they are, people that they can talk with who know what's going on in the families, what's happening in churches, people that they can talk with. And they need more trusted adults in their lives that can help them in this situation and their faith formation. And they need a place where they can ask those faith questions. We can provide that through this lab. So that's why we're doing this for children. For leaders, oh my goodness, everything has changed. It used to be 20 years ago, I could walk into a congregation and I could identify 2 or 3 people that I could teach to do what I do. And it's getting harder and harder to find those people. So we need a proactive way to help people learn the craft of teaching our children. Sunday school has changed so much. Just in the last 3 years, we don't have just an in-person option. I mean, that used to be the only thing, right? Now we have online, we have hybrid, we have asynchronous. We're ready to teach your leaders how to do all of that and do it well, not as an afterthought, but to be planning for it and to learn how to do it well. Sunday school has changed since our current leaders were children. Sunday school has changed since this current generation has entered. Think about it. So I'm the mother of 7 children. My oldest is 20. My youngest is 3. When we started parenting, we did not have smartphones. So my first 2 had none of that going on. My second 2 came in as that was happening. And my youngest 3, it's everywhere. They've got the internet everywhere. They've got smart TVs. Everything has changed in these 3 years, and everything has changed in the generation that just aged up, like my 20-year-old. So Sunday school is not Sunday school anymore. It's not school. We need to be equipping our leaders to recognize that and to be able to teach in those ways. And this lab will give the new leaders the opportunity to see how we do this, to participate in how we do this, to try out methods and techniques, to tweak what they're doing with the support of people that have been there and have done that. And why are we doing this for the congregation? Oh my goodness. The congregation makes such serious promises at baptisms. We can help live into those. We promise to support these families. We promise to support these children and teach them our faith. This is one of the ways that we can do it. We can provide a firm foundation upon which they can grow as Christians. It's not necessarily grow the size of congregations, to grow the faith. Okay, I want to be clear on that. And we need to be really very intentional on how we are training our leaders. We can't just look at it and say, please, please, we very much just need you this Sunday. Please, we need to plug that hole. We just need a person in there. You just have to be there. That doesn't do it anymore. We need to change that conversation and equip people so that they can come in at the last minute, or they can be there for a 6-week segment. We want them to have those skills. We want them to have the tools. We want them to have the techniques so that they can hit the ground running and feel comfortable and to build that community that you're hoping to have. How are we going to do that? And I have a few different slides for how we're going to do that. So in general, we're looking at 4 quarters in the year. We're looking at a fall quarter that starts October 15th. That's for 6 weeks. It'll go till just before Thanksgiving. Then there'll be a quarter right after Christmas. So I believe it's January 6th, if no, that's not a Sunday. Whatever that Sunday is, that's right after, I think January 7th then. We start then. And we'll have 6 weeks there. That gets you right up until Lent. Then we have a Lenten 6-week quarter, and then a quarter right after that. And what are we going to do? 45-minute sessions. We find 45 minutes to be the sweet spot when you're working with children. Yeah, that gives you time to introduce a lesson. It gives you time to wonder together. It gives you time to touch base with each other and see how the week has been going. It gives you time then to tell the story and tell it well and tell it in different ways. You're going to want to vary how you tell the story, and we can teach you how to do that. Then you're going to break into 3 different breakout rooms, and the children will be able to go to 3 different activities and interact with the word in a different way with different leaders. It'll be very, very, very innovative. And then that gives you time to come back as a group and debrief about what you did, and then collect prayer requests and head off and be blessed and head off into the rest of the week. We're going to be using a revised Common Lectionary curriculum from Spark House, Spark Lectionary. Spark House has been incredibly generous and is working with us on this. It is a wonderful, wonderful curriculum. It is ecumenical, and you will have access to everything in it as the teachers, as the congregation. So whatever it is that your the leaders have, you in the congregation, your congregational leaders will also have it. We say lectionary and revised common lectionary because we find that's what can be the common thread amongst all of us. It's really, if you have not used Spark House and Spark Lectionary, you will really enjoy it. It's excellent. It's one of the few that I recommend highly. And we're going to gather on Zoom. We don't know the time yet. We're thinking it will be Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern, but we're going to talk with those that sign up for this ministry and find the time that works for them. So that's the general how. Let's get into a little more of the nitty gritty. So how's this going to work for children? They're going to gather from where they are. We're going to use the PRC Zoom account, and we're going to give you the Zoom link that the kids will join from and the leaders will join from. And kids can join from their homes. They can join if they're in the car going to a soccer practice. They can join from the church. If you decide as a congregation that you want the kids together at the same time and do this from a classroom in your building, you can absolutely do that. It's up to you as a congregation how you want to handle that. They're going to gather with new friends. They're going to meet all sorts of great people here in our Zoom room, in our Zoom classroom. They're going to make friends across the country. It's going to be really exciting. They're going to be large group activities. As I said, we'll start all together, and then we'll go into breakout rooms for those enrichment activities. And those enrichment activities come from the curriculum that we're going to be teaching your leaders how to use. The enrichment activities are going to support the main lesson, and they're tailored to the specific talents of the children. It's not, let's just do this craft because we have to fill up time. No, it's very purposeful. We're doing this on purpose to help support the children's faith formation. There will be a master teacher that is leading each 6-week session of lessons in that quarter. The master teacher is there for the children. The master teacher leads the lessons and will pop into the breakout rooms and do the closing prayer and the blessing and the sending forth. The master teacher will be there for the children. Now I'm going to go to the next slide, and you're going to hear about how we're going to do this for leaders. The children have the master teacher, the mentors, the leaders have a mentor teacher. The mentor teacher there is there for them. They're going to be there helping the leaders understand why we're doing what we're doing, how to tweak this, how to get going in the breakout room. There. Hey, speaking of kids, here comes my 3-year-old. Sam, I'm just going to finish recording. Okay, sweets. Leaders are going to also gather from where they are. If you work with kids too, can you tell them my kid's turning my light on and off? There we go, on and off. Thank you, Sam. Samo, I need you to go into the other room right now. The beauty of Zoom. So they're going to gather from where they are. Again, they can gather from their home, they can gather from the church. It's up to you. That's your decision. They're going to learn the rhythm of lessons. In the beginning, they're probably not going to be participating as much. They're going to be observing and gathering all of the skills and the techniques that they're wanting to gather. They're going to practice techniques in the breakout room. They will be in there with the support of the mentor teacher and the master teacher at first, and the master teacher and the mentor teacher will always be around, but they're going to eventually have the opportunity to lead the activities there in the breakout room on their own. This also comes with membership in our cohort that meets once a month, and the second week of the month we'll give you more details on that. That's a great place for support for your leaders. There'll also be one leader meeting per quarter at a time that we decide is mutually not acceptable, but works for everybody, okay? And we'll do a doodle poll and figure out what time that will be. And that will be the time where we look at the upcoming curriculum, what we're doing, how we're gonna break it down, how do you find the materials, how do you switch things midstream as you're working in a lesson with kids if things aren't going well, what's your back pocket activity? That's where we'll talk about all of that. And as I mentioned, the mentor teacher before. So that's how we're gonna do it for new leaders. But here's the nitty gritty. So, and these numbers are based on whether you have 50 or under in worship. If you have more than that in worship, contact us and we'll give you more information on the pricing. There's a $500 fee for the year for all 4 quarters. It's inclusive of the curriculum, so you don't have to pay for the curriculum. We're giving that to you. It's inclusive of all the teaching for the children and inclusive of all the training for the leaders. It's inclusive of the cohort, and it's inclusive of the leader meetings. So we're providing everything you need for that year to get you launched, to equip people, and to help your children as well. So if you have questions, I want you to feel free to email me. It will be in the comments, my email, but it's elizabeth@prcli.org, and I will be happy to get back to you with answers as quickly as I can. Thank you for joining us. I hope you feel free to contact us and tell us what you think.